Welcome to The Explainer. I am so glad you're here today because we are tackling a topic that literally touches the daily lives of millions of us. If you have ever shopped for a computer, you absolutely know the feeling of just drowning in this alphabet soup of technical jargon. Well, today, our mission for this explainer is to translate all those dry, confusing specs into practical, real-world value. We're going to be looking closely at the HP 15.6-inch FHD Laptop 2026 edition. So let's dive right in and decode exactly what this machine actually brings to the table.
I want to start us off by asking a really fundamental question. What makes the perfect everyday laptop? Honestly, it's a surprisingly tough question to answer, because perfect means something completely different to a hardcore gamer than it does to a college freshman or, say, a remote worker. But for the vast majority of us, we aren't looking for some flashy machine that requires a degree in computer engineering just to turn it on. We're looking for a reliable, everyday companion. We want a machine that avoids all that unnecessary complexity, wakes up when we need it, and just powers through our daily tasks without a single hiccup.
All right, meet your new daily driver, the HP 15.6-inch FHD Laptop 2026 edition. Let's start with its slim design and clear display, which are really built for portability and comfort. Based on the reviews and specs we're analyzing today, this specific model from HP isn't trying to be some hyper-specialized niche device. Instead, it's built exactly for the actual workflow of students, remote workers, and general everyday consumers. Now, before we even touch on processing power, we have to talk about the physical build. HP went with a very clean, practical design here, and the magic number to remember is 3.64 pounds. Think about it. If you've ever had to sprint across a massive college campus to make a lecture or navigated a huge airport concourse with a laptop bag just digging into your shoulder, you know that every single ounce matters. At right around 3.64 pounds, this machine is specifically engineered to be easily tossed into a backpack for classes or travel, completely avoiding back strain. It's a slim, minimal build that definitively escapes that dreaded, bulky feeling. And that highly portable, slim build pairs perfectly with its 15.6-inch Full HD display. In the laptop world, that 15.6-inch mark is pretty much the ultimate sweet spot. It is big enough to give you the screen real estate you actually need for comfortable multitasking. Like you can easily have a research article open right next to a Word document, but it's not so massive that the thing becomes impossible to travel with. Plus, the Full HD resolution ensures your text looks super sharp and your videos are crystal clear. That is absolutely vital for saving your eyes during long study sessions or those back-to-back online meetings. Okay, let's peek at the performance under the hood and translate these tech specs into real life. So, shifting our focus from the outside to the inside, we need to see if this machine can actually keep up with your daily demands. There is a really crucial trade-off here between memory and storage that you need to know about. First, you're getting 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, in this category of everyday laptops, 16 gigs is a massive advantage. This is literally your multitasking superpower. It means you can have dozens of browser tabs open, run Microsoft Office apps, sit in on a virtual class, and flip between all of it without the system lagging. It makes everything feel incredibly smooth. But on the flip side, we have to look at the 256 gigabyte solid-state drive, or SSD. The SSD gives you incredible speed. Windows 11 is going to boot up super fast, apps open instantly, and the whole system feels incredibly snappy compared to older hard drives. Yes, the speed is definitely there, but the capacity is relatively small. 256 gigs is totally fine for your essential documents, assignments, and apps, but it does mean you'll need to rely on some smart file management. You'll likely be utilizing cloud storage or maybe an external hard drive for larger files. So it's a clear trade-off, huge multitasking memory on one hand and incredibly fast but limited physical storage on the other.
Building on that snappy performance, this thing is ready to go right out of the box with all-day battery life. HP designed this for real endurance, meaning a student can jump between classes all day or a professional can work remotely from a cafe without constantly scanning the room for a wall outlet. And pairing that hardware with the software, it comes bundled with Microsoft 365. That is a huge plus. Right out of the gate, you have access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneDrive for your assignments and reports. It really just takes the friction right out of setting up a brand new computer.
Next up, let's talk about smart tools, specifically Copilot AI, which really represents the future of everyday productivity. This right here is the standout software feature that firmly plants this laptop in the 2026 edition lineup, totally setting it apart from older, more traditional machines. Now, we hear the term AI thrown around constantly these days, so let's just demystify it for a second. In the context of this HP laptop, Copilot AI is an integrated Windows 11 smart assistant. It brings smarter assistance directly to your fingertips. We're not talking science fiction here. We're talking highly practical help. It assists you with writing, summarizing long documents, and organizing your tasks. Whether you're a student trying to condense a giant block of lecture notes or an office worker drafting emails and managing a busy schedule, this AI integration is designed specifically to save you time and help you manage your workload way more efficiently.
So, the big question, is this laptop actually for you? Let's take a second to define its boundaries. Look, no single piece of technology is perfectly tailored for every single person on Earth, so setting realistic expectations is essential. We can really clearly see where this laptop excels and where it falls short. Let's look at its bread and butter first. Web browsing, studying, attending online meetings, editing documents, and light media consumption. If that sounds like your day-to-day, this machine is going to handle it beautifully. However, we also have to look at what it's not designed for. This is absolutely not a machine for heavy graphic-intensive gaming, and it is not meant for intense creative workloads, like professional 4K video editing or complex 3D rendering. That is simply not its purpose. By being clear about these boundaries, we know that this HP laptop prioritizes reliability, portability, and ultra-smooth everyday performance over heavy processing power.
And this brings us to a really perfect summary of everything we've covered today. A dependable machine for daily work without unnecessary complexity. That really is the ultimate core value proposition of the HP 15.6-inch HFD Laptop 2026 edition. It gives you a fantastic balance of good performance, incredibly strong multitasking capability with that 16 gigs of RAM, a lightweight design, long battery life, and modern touches like Copilot AI. It is practically tailor-made for people who just want their technology to work for them seamlessly. So that leaves us with one final thought to ponder. In a tech world that is completely obsessed with pro and max overkill, is the ultimate flex simply choosing a machine that perfectly and efficiently matches your actual daily workflow? If you're tired of lugging around bulky machines, if you just need something reliable for school or remote work, and if you want a system that boots up fast and handles dozens of open tabs without breaking a sweat, this 2026 edition from HP might be exactly what you've been searching for. Be sure to check out the links in the original source for all the latest pricing and availability. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, stay curious, and I will see you next time.